All right, so get this. We're diving deep into boosting core energy today.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, we're looking at this ebook by Brooklyn Dicent called Boost Your Core Energy.
Okay, I've heard of her.
She talks about all these practical ways to boost what she calls, get this, anabolic energy.
Anabolic energy.
Right. So, like sometimes you're just buzzing with this, positive energy and you feel super creative.
Yeah, yeah.
That's anabolic energy. It's like the energy that helps you build stuff, heal, perform your best.
I like it.
So this ebook is like packed with all these techniques to help you tap into that.
It's interesting how she frames it, right? It's not just about having more energy. It's about like having the right kind of energy.
Yeah, exactly.
She contrasts it with, catabolic energy, which is basically what leaves you feeling drained and stressed, burnt out.
Exactly. And she makes a super interesting point that our thoughts, like what we're thinking, really impacts what type of energy is, like dominating our lives.
Oh.
So to help us get a handle on that, she's created this framework. It's called the 7 levels of energy.
Okay.
We'll definitely talk more about that later. But first, I have to ask you about this one technique that just blew my mind.
Okay, hit me.
It's called thought journaling with a twist.
Oh, yeah. Now, this one really stood out to me, too.
Right.
I mean, you know about traditional journaling, right?
Here, sure.
So she puts these, like, clever little twists on it that make it way more effective.
Okay, so what she got?
Well, first of all, she says categorize your thoughts, but by their energy level, using that 7 levels framework.
Okay, that's different.
Right. So you're not just, like, writing down whatever's in your head. You're actually, like, analyzing the energy behind every single thought.
Gotcha. I can see how that's different, but where's the twist part?
Okay, so the twist is that she says to set, like, random alarms on your phone throughout the day.
Random alarm.
Yeah, to, like, capture your thoughts as they happen in real time. It's like a little surprise mindfulness check.
Interesting.
Instead of just journaling at the end of the day,
Yeah.
when you're already exhausted, these little alarms make you stop and think about what's going on in your mind right now.
Okay, that makes sense. But, I was just thinking about, like, my own journaling. I usually, like, just dump everything on the page before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
But, you're getting bombarded by emails and notifications all day. Wouldn't all these random alarms going off, like, wouldn't that just add more mental clutter?
That is such a good question. And I think she anticipated that. She actually suggests that you build in like a mini mindfulness prompt when the alarm goes off.
Right. What?
So it's not just about like, jotting down the thought. It's about using that moment to actually shift your energy.
Okay.
Take a deep breath, do a quick gratitude exercise, or, just remember your favorite affirmation, whatever.
Oh, so it's like a mental reset button throughout the day.
Totally. I love how practical it is.
Yeah, it's very actionable.
Right. And speaking of action, Dicent also talks about like the importance of, having some accountability.
Oh, yeah. Accountability is key.
She calls it the thought buddy system.
A thought buddy. Okay, tell me more.
Okay, so basically you partner up with a friend or a colleague or whoever who's also interested in this whole, thought awareness thing.
Mm.
And you like check in with each other regularly.
Regularly.
Yeah, and you talk about what you're thinking about, how it's making you feel.
Huh. So you're not doing this alone, You've got someone to, like, support you, keep you motivated.
Yeah, exactly.
But wouldn't it be, like, a little weird to constantly be analyzing your thoughts with another person? I mean, wouldn't that take you out of the moment?
I had that thought too initially, but she suggests some like concrete ways to make it actually work. Like, maybe you set a specific challenge for each other. Like, we're going to identify and consciously reframe at least one, negative thought today. It kind of turns into a game. And then you can like celebrate each other's wins.
I like that. Okay, that makes sense. So we've got like the thought journaling and now this buddy system. What else does she talk about?
Well, she has an entire chapter on visualization techniques, which is great for, visual learners.
Ooh, okay. I'm a visual person, so tell me more about that.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
So she suggests that you visualize your thoughts like as colors or objects.
Like what?
Like imagine a dark cloud.
Yeah.
Right? And that represents a negative thought.
Okay.
And then a bright sun, that's a positive thought.
Okay, I like that.
It helps you get a clear picture of the energy behind each thought.
Yeah, like you're creating this visual map of your mind.
Exactly.
But what happens when those dark clouds start rolling in? What do you do then?
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. She doesn't want you to just observe those negative thoughts. She wants you to actually, like, transform them,
Yeah.
right? So imagine that dark cloud representing that negative thought, and you consciously shift it, like you're morphing it into a bright, radiant sun. It's like you're taking control of your energy instead of letting it control you.
Okay, I am really liking this.
I know, right? It's very cool.
So how do you keep track of all that, energy shifting throughout the day?
Well, she's got this app. It's called Scope.
Scope, is that an acronym or something?
Oh, you're right. It stands for spiritual, cognitive, emotional, physical, social, and environmental. It's designed to, like, give you a snapshot of your energy right now in this moment.
So it's not just about like how much energy you have, but like how well you're using it.
Exactly. It even has it calculates something called a performance factor score, which I think is pretty neat.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But let me just play devil's advocate here for a second.
Mhm.
How can an app, actually measure something as, I don't know, subjective as energy?
Right.
It seems a little bit like those mood trackers, where it's like, pick a smiley face that represents how you're feeling.
I know what you mean. I'm kind of skeptical of those too sometimes. But here's what's different about Scope.
Okay, what is it?
It doesn't just rely on you to, like, rate your energy. It also looks at, like, your heart rate variability, your sleep patterns, even your social media activity.
Wow, that's way more in depth than I thought.
Right. So by analyzing all that data, it can tell you which of those 6 scope factors are impacting your energy the most at any given moment.
Okay, that is really cool. So once you know what's draining your energy or what's giving you a boost, then you can make different choices about how you spend your time, and even who you spend it with.
Exactly.
Okay, this is blowing my mind, like having a personal energy coach in your pocket.
I know, right? It's pretty amazing. And speaking of coaching, she talks about combining guided meditation with positive self-talk, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, guided meditations, I use those all the time.
Yeah, me too. She's really into using those to increase your awareness of your thoughts. But what I thought was really interesting is how she emphasizes developing, like, a personalized self-talk routine too.
So you're not just listening to generic affirmations.
No, you're creating your own.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. But, I have to admit, it feels a little weird talking to yourself.
I know. So how do you get past that?
Okay, so this is brilliant. She suggests recording yourself, saying your affirmations, and then playing them back throughout the day.
Oh, I like that. That's a really cool idea. It's like a soundtrack of positivity.
Totally. And it's so much easier to, like, absorb those positive messages when you're hearing them in your own voice.
Yeah, I think that would really work. What I really appreciate about all this is just how many different techniques she offers.
Me too.
She's really giving you like a whole toolkit.
Yeah. And that brings us to thought breaks.
Thought breaks. Okay, I'm listening.
So these are basically just planned pauses you schedule throughout the day for the sole purpose of just thinking about your thoughts. It's like, hitting pause on autopilot and tuning in to what's going on in your head and your heart.
So instead of just like powering through your to-do list, you're creating space for reflection.
Right. It's so easy to get, lost in the chaos of the day and forget to check in with yourself.
Yeah, that's so true. Okay, I like that.
And to make those thought breaks even more powerful, she says, combine them with, like, some physical activity. Go for a walk in nature, do a quick yoga flow, anything to, like, get you out of your head and into your body.
You know what? This is making me rethink my whole workday. I can just imagine myself taking a walk in the park across from my office, for a thought break.
That's the idea. It's all about finding those little ways to weave energy management into your day.
Okay, I'm on board. So what else is in this toolkit?
Okay, this is where it gets fun. Creative expression.
Ooh, okay, tell me everything.
So she encourages you to explore all sorts of art forms like journaling, writing, music, even dance as a way to, like, process your thoughts and emotions. And when you do that, it makes, like, the energy impact of those thoughts and feelings so much more obvious.
So it's not just about thinking about your thoughts, it's about like tapping into your creative energy to like really understand them.
Yes, exactly. You're giving them a voice or,
Yeah.
a shape, a color, whatever.
Okay, I like that. But what about people who aren't like super artistic? Any suggestions for them?
Oh, she totally addresses that. She's not just talking about, like, painting and drawing. She also talks about cognitive behavioral techniques.
Okay, now we're talking. CBT is so powerful for understanding and changing your thought patterns. I love that.
Right. It's often used for, mental health stuff. But she shows how you can use those same techniques to boost your core energy too.
Like what? What kind of technique?
Well, one of the things she talks about is using thought records.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
So a thought record is basically a structured way to, like, identify, challenge, and reframe any negative thoughts you're having.
So you're like putting your negative thoughts on trial, huh?
Exactly. And then she also talks about the importance of asking yourself Socratic questions when you're trying to figure out what's going on in your head.
Okay, give me an example. What's a Socratic question?
Okay, let's say you're, like, feeling anxious about a presentation you have to give.
Ugh, yeah. I hate presentations.
A Socratic question you could ask yourself is, what's the worst that could realistically happen?
Okay, yeah.
Right. It helps you get some perspective and stops you from, going down that rabbit hole of catastrophic thinking.
Okay, that's a good one. I can see how that would be really helpful.
Right. So it's all about getting curious about your thoughts and not just taking them at face value.
Yeah, it's like being a detective in your own mind.
Totally. But she doesn't just focus on the mind. She also has a whole chapter on body awareness practices.
Yeah, that's so important. It's so easy to get, like, stuck in your head and forget about your body.
I know, right? So she does a really great job of explaining the mind-body connection and how they really impact each other.
Okay.
She talks about paying attention to how your body feels when you're thinking certain thoughts. Like, do you feel tension or relaxation?
So if you're feeling stressed and you notice your shoulders are, like, up around your ears, that could be a sign that you're, like, spiraling into negative thinking.
Yeah, exactly. It's like your body's giving you clues about what's going on in your mind.
Okay, that makes sense.
And to strengthen that mind-body connection, she suggests something called body scan meditation.
Oh, I've heard of that, yeah.
It's basically where you, like, slowly bring your attention to different parts of your body and notice what you're feeling without, judging yourself.
Yeah, I've done those before. It's very relaxing. But how does she connect that to boosting your energy?
Well, the idea is to pay attention to how different thoughts make your body feel. So as you're doing the body scan, you might notice that certain thoughts, they make you feel tense or uncomfortable,
Right.
while other thoughts create this feeling of, like, ease and flow.
I see. So you start to notice the connection between your thoughts and your physical sensations.
Exactly.
This is so cool. I'm really starting to see how all these different techniques can work together.
Me too.
It's like you're creating like a tapestry of positive energy,
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Okay, so we've talked about thought journaling, we talked about visualization, we talked about the app.
Mm-hmm.
What about working with a coach? I think that was one of the last things we were talking about.
Right. She talks about the benefits of working with an EIMP coach.
EIMP coach, hold on, break that down for me. What is that?
Okay, so ELI stands for Energy Leadership Index, and an EIMP coach is basically like a certified professional who helps you figure out how to manage your energy. They use this assessment tool called the Energy Leadership Index to see, where you're at, what your strengths are, and where you could improve.
So it's like you're getting a personalized energy report card.
Totally. And then they help you create a plan to elevate your energy and actually reach your goals.
Okay, that sounds amazing. But how does this ELI thing work? Like how do they assess you?
Well, it's a pretty thorough assessment. It looks at your thoughts, your emotions, your behaviors, even your values, all kinds of things.
Wow.
And it helps to show you what your energy patterns are, like what you tend to do automatically.
Okay, so it's like you're getting a deeper understanding of yourself, like how you operate energetically.
Exactly. And then the coach uses that information to help you change those patterns if you need to.
That makes a lot of sense. So, it's not just about learning techniques. It's about like really understanding your own energy.
Absolutely. And then the coach is there to support you and hold you accountable as you're going through the process of making those changes.
Okay, so it's like a guided journey towards greater energy awareness. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty amazing process, I have to say.
I can see how it would be really transformative.
Definitely.
So all of this is really fascinating, and I am super excited to dive deeper into all of this.
And me too.
But before we move on, I'm just curious, what stands out to you the most from everything we've talked about so far?
I think the thing that really gets me is how Decent emphasizes that we can actually start today. We don't have to wait for, the perfect moment or the perfect circumstances.
Totally.
We can start with small steps right now, like those random alarms we talked about.
We're trying out different visualizations.
Exactly. Or finding a thought buddy, someone to do this with.
Right. Every little step, every little thing you do can make a difference.
Absolutely. It's all about taking those first steps and then building on them over time.
Beautifully said. All right, well, I am eager to dive deeper into all of this with you in the next part of our conversation.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to unpack those 7 levels of energy and see how they work in practice.
Stay tuned, listeners. We'll be right back after a quick break to delve even deeper into the world of core energy. All right, so we're back and ready to really dig into this whole idea of boosting core energy.
I'm ready.
We were talking about all these cool techniques from Decent's book, and I'm like, I'm ready to unpack them even more.
Yeah, let's do it.
Where should we start?
Well, I think we should really get into the 7 levels of energy. You know, like we keep mentioning it, but haven't really explained it.
Yeah, you're right. We've been dancing around it.
Understanding this framework is essential to actually using a lot of her techniques.
Okay, so break it down for me. What are these 7 levels of energy all about?
Think of it like a spectrum,
Hmm.
a way to categorize different energy states.
Mm.
It starts at level 1, which she calls catabolic, and goes up to level 7, which is anabolic.
Okay, I'm seeing a ladder in my head with 7 rungs.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
So walk me up this ladder. What does each level look and feel like?
Okay, so let's start at the bottom. Level 1, catabolic. This is the lowest energy state. Think fear, anger, resentment.
Okay.
When you're in this state, you feel drained, hopeless, maybe even stuck.
Not a good place to be.
Right. Your thoughts are super negative, and you might even do things that sabotage yourself.
Ooh, that's rough. I definitely don't want to hang out there for too long.
We all experience it sometimes, though.
Yeah, it's true.
It's part of being human. The key is to recognize it and know how to move up to a higher level.
All right, so how do we climb up a rung? What's level 2?
Level 2 is comfort.
Yeah.
It's a step up from catabolic, but still pretty passive.
So you're not miserable, but not exactly thriving either?
Exactly. Content, maybe, but also complacent. Kind of like coasting through life on autopilot.
I can relate to that. We all get stuck in our comfort zones sometimes. But it doesn't really get you anywhere, does it?
Nope. So we need to break out of that and climb up to level 3.
Okay, tell me about level 3.
Level 3 is growth. And this is where things get exciting.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
You're more energized, motivated, open to new experiences. You're learning, expanding your horizons.
Stepping outside that comfort zone.
Exactly.
That sounds like the perfect place to be for personal growth.
It is. It's like pushing yourself and seeing what you're capable of.
All right, what's next? Level 4.
Level 4 is passion. You're fully engaged with life, excited, enthusiastic, going after your goals.
That sounds amazing.
Right. You're in your element and your energy is infectious.
I love that. It's like being so into something that time flies by.
Right. Like athletes who are in the zone.
Exactly. And when you're operating from that level of passion, you're more likely to achieve your goals and inspire others. Okay, we've climbed 4 rungs. We're feeling motivated, passionate, and energized. What's waiting at level 5?
Level 5 is visionary. Now you're thinking bigger about how you can make a difference.
Ooh, interesting.
It's not just about your own goals anymore. You're thinking about the world, about contributing to something larger than yourself.
I see. So you're a leader, an innovator.
Exactly.
Like Martin Luther King Jr. or Nelson Mandela, people who had this huge vision for a better world and inspired others to follow them.
That's a great example. And, you don't have to be a world leader to operate from this level.
Yeah, that's true.
It's about finding your purpose and using your talents to make a positive impact.
Right. On your community, your family, your workplace.
Exactly.
Okay, 2 more rungs to go. What's at level 6?
Level 6 is intuition. Here, you're really connected to your inner wisdom.
Ooh, that sounds deep.
You trust your gut, you're perceptive, and you make decisions that feel right.
It's like you're not just thinking, you're feeling your way forward.
Yeah, there's definitely a spiritual element to it.
It's like tapping into something bigger than yourself.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm getting excited. We're almost to the top. What's at level 7?
Level 7 is anabolic, the highest energy state.
The peak of the energy mountain.
It's pure, unconditional love, joy, gratitude. You radiate positive energy, attract abundance, and live in flow.
Wow. That sounds like bliss, like reaching enlightenment.
It's a state of heightened awareness and deep inner peace.
It sounds almost impossible to reach.
Well, it might seem that way, but Decent believes we can all experience it, even if just for brief moments.
So it's not about staying at level 7 all the time.
Right. It's about knowing these levels and having the tools to move up when we're feeling down.
Okay, that makes sense. So all those techniques we talked about earlier, they're like the tools to help us climb that ladder.
Exactly.
So let's say someone's stuck at level 1, catabolic. how can they use something like the thought journaling with a twist to start shifting their energy?
Remember, at level 1, thoughts are super negative. With those random alarms, you bring those thoughts into your awareness. You start seeing those negative patterns.
You're basically catching yourself in the act.
Yeah. And then you categorize those thoughts using the 7 levels framework, right? You see where each thought is coming from.
And once you know a thought is from a lower energy level, you can use one of those mindfulness prompts to change it.
Exactly. So let's say the alarm goes off and you're thinking, I'll never finish this project. Classic level 1.
Yeah, it's full of fear and hopelessness. So what kind of mindfulness prompt could you use there?
Well, she suggests a few things. You could try a breathing exercise. Focus on your breath for a few moments.
Okay, I like that. Breathing exercises are great for stress. What else?
You could remember a positive affirmation or a quote that inspires you. Like, I am capable and I will find a way.
Repeating that can help to push back against those negative thoughts.
Right. Or even think about something you're grateful for.
Oh, gratitude. That's a good one.
Yeah, focus on something good, big or small, like a cup of coffee or a beautiful sunset.
So you're shifting your attention away from what's wrong to what's right.
Exactly.
This is making a lot of sense. Even those little mindfulness moments can make a big difference.
Yeah, the more you do it, the better you get at catching those negative thoughts and using those techniques to shift your energy.
It's like training your mind to be more positive and resilient.
Totally. And the 7 levels framework is great because it shows you where you are and what to do to move up.
Okay, so that's thought journaling. What about those other techniques like visualization and the Scope app? How do they fit into this?
Well, with visualization, remember she said to imagine thoughts as colors or objects?
Yeah, like a dark cloud for negative and a bright sun for positive.
Right, so you can use the 7 levels to give each level a color.
Ooh, I like that.
Level 1 could be dark gray or black, and level 7 could be gold or white.
So as you go through your day, you can see those colors changing in your mind as your energy shifts.
Exactly. And when you're in a lower energy state, you can use those visualizations to change those colors, like turning that dark cloud into a sun.
But now we're turning dark gray into bright gold.
Yes.
Okay, that's powerful. So how does the Scope app fit in?
Well, Scope gives you real-time feedback on your energy based on those 6 factors: spiritual, cognitive, emotional, physical, social, and environmental.
Right, the energy report card.
Think of those 6 factors as different ways to look at the 7 levels of energy.
Okay, I'm listening.
So say you're feeling drained and Scope says your energy is low in the emotional and social areas.
So maybe my relationships or my emotional state are draining my energy?
Exactly. And then you can do something about it. Maybe set boundaries with someone or schedule some self-care time.
So all these tools work together to create this like holistic approach to managing your energy?
That's it. It's not about finding one magic solution, but having lots of strategies.
And knowing that our energy is always changing and we have the power to influence it with our thoughts, actions, and choices.
I love that. And, it's not just about boosting our own energy. When we lift ourselves up, we lift others up too.
That's so true. It's like a ripple effect. You shift from catabolic to anabolic, and that positive energy spreads out to the people around you.
Beautiful, right? It shows how connected we all are.
It makes me think about the thought buddy system again. We were a little unsure about it before, but now I see how having that support could be so helpful.
I know. Imagine having someone to help you see those negative patterns and encourage you to use those mindfulness prompts. They're like your energy cheerleader.
It's not just about accountability, but about sharing that journey with someone who gets it.
And, the best part is, Decent emphasizes finding what works best for you.
Right. Not every technique is for everyone.
If those random alarms stress you out, maybe you try creative expression.
Or maybe you love data and want to use the Scope app.
Exactly. Play around, experiment, and find what you enjoy.
I love that. This whole deep dive has been eye-opening. We have so much more control over our energy than we think.
It's not about getting rid of low energy completely, but about knowing how to shift back to a better state.
And remembering that energy is contagious. When we cultivate that good energy within ourselves, we inspire others.
It's like spreading positivity wherever we go.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. We talked about the 7 levels of energy, some key techniques, and how this work can impact those around us.
It's been great. What are our listeners taking away from this so far? What's resonating with you? What are you excited to try?
Yeah, share your thoughts with us.
We'd love to hear from you.
We'll be back soon to wrap this up and talk about how to get started today.
Yeah.
We're back, and I am I'm seriously pumped about all this core energy stuff.
Me too. It's pretty amazing.
But before we wrap up our deep dive into Decent's book, there's one thing we haven't totally explored yet.
You're right. We've kind of skirted around the whole working with a coach thing.
Yeah, working with an ELIMP coach.
It sounds super valuable, but what does it actually look like, if you actually work with one?
Exactly. Break it down for us.
Okay, so remember, ELI stands for Energy Leadership Index. And it's like this deep dive assessment that shows you your energy patterns.
Right, we talked about that. It shows you your strengths, your weaknesses, the things you might be doing to sabotage your energy without realizing it.
Exactly. And that's where the ELIMP coach comes in. They help you understand your assessment results, like what it all means.
So they help you connect the dots between your thoughts, feelings, actions, and your energy.
Yeah, it's like having a personal energy translator.
I love that. But what happens after you've, unpacked those results?
That's when the real work begins. The coach helps you create a plan, a personalized plan to boost your energy and reach your goals.
So it's customized just for you.
Right. They might pull in techniques from Distance book or suggest other tools that work for you.
So it's like a roadmap for your energy journey.
Exactly. And they're there to, support you and keep you accountable along the way.
That's so important. So I'm ready. Where do I sign up?
Well, Decent ends the book with a call to action. She says, get started today.
Yes, I'm feeling that. So what's the first step?
She says to book a discussion or an energy leadership assessment to learn more about working with a coach.
So you can test the waters before jumping in?
Yeah, exactly.
What if someone's not ready for coaching yet? Are there things they can do on their own?
Oh, for sure. I mean, remember all the amazing techniques we talked about? Even trying out just a few of those can make a huge difference.
Yeah, like setting those random alarms or playing around with visualizations.
Right. And remember the thought buddy system.
Mm.
Having someone to support you on this journey can be so helpful.
It's like having a personal energy cheerleader. I like that.
And the coolest part is you don't need anything special to get started. You have everything you need already.
This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening. We really do have more control over our energy than we realize.
It's not about never having those low energy moments. It's about knowing how to deal with them and shift back to a better place.
And remembering that our energy impacts others. When we cultivate that good energy, we can really inspire the people around us.
Yeah, we can create a ripple effect of positivity.
I love that. This has been an incredible conversation. I'm feeling so inspired to put all of this into practice.
Me too.
So listeners, if you're ready to start your own energy adventure, go back and check out those techniques that spoke to you. Experiment.
Don't be afraid to try new things and keep learning out your own energy.
And remember, you're not alone in this.
We're here to support you every step of the way.
So keep exploring, keep growing, and keep shining your light. And that's a wrap for today's deep dive. We'll be back soon to explore another fascinating topic. Until then, keep that energy high and keep soaring.